of you want to know more about our research, all the details we have posted at this website. Okay, you will get publications and all those things at that website. Okay, we have developed some other decision support system which I will show you. As a data student, data science student, what is decision support system? What is decision support system? You do not know. Okay. Okay. I'll ask you a simple question. Data and information and knowledge. What is the difference between data and information? How many of you want clean air and water? Question is simple. So everyone wants clean air and water. Okay. Now, if you want clean air and water, what we should do? I'll be discussing that. Okay, that's my part. Before that, let us see whether changes in climate is happening. What parameter which shows that there is a change is a temperature. Increase in temperature consistently. You see that it is not morning increase in temperature, evening there is a natural amount of answering. Not that. Not a seasonal thing. Consistently there is an increase in temperature over years. That's a long-term change in climatic parameter. Is referred to as changes in climate. Okay. Now, why does it happen? So, it happens because of the greenhouse gas emissions. Greenhouse gases getting into the atmosphere on a sheet, and that doesn't allow the heat to escape. In the process, warming of the earth happens. Now, let us try to understand the implication. See, if you look at disaster, with increase in temperature, the disasters are increasing, and also there is a increase in the sea level. Sea level is rising. When sea level rises, what is the problem? What will happen? How many of you are from coastal area? Anyone from coastal area? So none. Okay. So that means the coastal towns will be loose. Okay, all of them will be covered with water. Flooding is one short period of time, high amount of water. Whereas this is throughout the year, you will not have that land itself. That is the worry. Okay. So then let us look at the glacier. People say glacier melt is happening. So now when the glacier melt happens, how it affects us clearly. See now, as per the estimate, earlier the glacier melt was this. The glacier was the orange glacier. Today, this white is the glacier color. Now, when the out with the thing, it takes some time. We have limited financial, institutional and technological capacity. Even if we have the institutions and all those things, there is a problem. What is the problem today in India? What is the serious problem in India today among the youth? Your own generation and talking. Speak louder, some mic is there. No, then because most of them looks like they didn't have breakfast. What is the serious problem in India today? Or in Bangalore, or in Chanakya University? You can raise your hand and Bharat will come and give this. That's what I also tried. What exploitation you are doing in Chanakya University? You are not exploiting the resources that are available in Chanakya University. You are not attending classes properly. I'm here yesterday and today. I interacted with you all yesterday evening. I didn't see the discipline in the system. Even today, we came at 9:30. I'm waiting from 9:45 in this room. And I see people walking in at 10:10. Excuses are part of it. Let us not worry about excuses. Everybody can say. But if we make up a mind that we will be on time on this program,
No, sir, we were on time for the class.
then what happened? So he organized this event and then parallelly took class also. So that means I have to take class from your teacher. Okay, let me come back to the letter. Okay. Now, look at this slide carefully. Next slide. Okay. You will understand what is the problem. Oral bleaching with 1.5 degree increase in temperature, it would be around 75. Another 0.5 degrees, it will become 99. Okay? You know what are corals? India has worked on corals. You can ask them, okay? They will give you the samples of corals, show you. Okay? Then, the insects with 1.5 degrees Celsius increase in temperature, we put 6 insects and 8 plants and 4 budding. When we lose them, then you tell me why we are worrying, why we should worry about losing 6 insects. Anyone can answer. Mitigation. See, that is the thing. And these are all endemic species. Endemic means we are specific to that local region. So local to that region. So that means you cannot take them elsewhere and then grow them or allow them to grow. So if we lose them, then one of the important thing is pollination won't happen. When there is no pollination, you will not have crop yield. Okay? And some of you are from rural families. You know how much your parents struggle to earn in rural area. If they are not getting the yield of the crop, then you know how difficult life can become. Okay? That is the serious thing. Now, we will increase by another 0.5 degrees Celsius. It goes up like this. With 1.5, we were losing 6 insects, it becomes 13. Okay? And 8 plants will become 16. Almost double we will lose. That's where changes in climate is a serious issue. And then drought, Bara. So if you look at with 1.5 degrees Celsius, 350 million people are affected, while with another 0.5 it becomes 410 million. The last year Karnataka faced the drought. We had a green drought. Okay, so that means we are already exposed to those things. At least let us be more the discipline and bring down the changes in climate. And look at the sea level rise. With 1.5 degrees Celsius, the sea level rise is about 48 centimeters. And if you increase by another 0.5, it goes up to 56 centimeters. And how many people get affected? You see that 46 million with 1.5 degrees Celsius and 49 million people get affected with that means their livelihood get affected. Another serious threat is with the increase in temperature is the vector-borne diseases. Like yesterday I said, chikungunya, dengue, and all such things will start happening, and more people die because of that. Okay. So now to summarize what I said so far, there is a rise in sea level, then glacier will melt. Then you might say, no, glacier happens in North India, why should I worry about South? Your sea level will increase. Then whether you are north or south, you will pay the heavy price. Okay? So, and the flooding will happen, drought, and also the crop productivity will come down. That means it affects all of us in some way or the other. That is where we need to wake up. Okay? So now we lose the food security, water availability, cities become vulnerable, and coastlines become vulnerable, and other serious threat which is going to affect every one of us is the health. You will end up spending more and more on your health. You will go for some treatment, but today hospitals have become the machines of sucking the money from people. You would have gone for a simple fever, they will give a list of the tests to be done. Out of here you will get it done. There is nothing in that situation, but still they do that. Simple fever, I have come across charging 50,000. I have told some other people, don't go to the hospital, but that's not the solution. That means we should not allow the disease vector to thrive in the system. Okay? So now with this, let me take you to the Western Ghats. We work in Western Ghats. We are quite happy with the Western Ghats. And how is there anyone from Western Ghats in your? No one from Western Ghats. Okay, only Deepthi and I are from Western Ghats. Okay, in this room. So Deepthi is you are from Kerala. Yeah, I should have asked how many are from Kerala. So, okay, how many earth we have? Do we have more than one earth? We don't have. Now let us look at how many varieties of plants and animals are there on the earth. See, when you look at our scriptures, Rigveda talks about 6 to 8, 8 to 12 million species on the earth. They have even accounted the microbial organism. Look at the kind of the knowledge we have. And in science, we have estimated about 1.3 million species. When we say varieties of plants and animals, you get variety of food. That's where you require variety of plants and animals. So otherwise, you won't get a variety of plant and animal. And when you have a variety of plant and animal in your food, you get immunity. Okay, your body gets the immunity. That is the result. That means wherein there is a diversity of plant and animal, you have the health also. Okay. Now, which part of the earth has the highest number of plants and animal variety? Let us look at. Latitudinally, let us find out at each latitude how many species are there. You see that at this point, you have the highest number of plants and animal varieties on the earth. And look at the latitude of the earth. It ranges from 8 to 14th in the latitude. It corresponds to Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, part of Western Ghats. That means some of us have got such a resource. It's our duty to conserve that and give it to our children. We should not allow the others to come and they exploit the resources. Okay? So then you might ask, what is this variety means? You see, in one taluk, we found this many varieties of rice. One variety is for the fragrance, other one is a yield. Okay, if you hybridize that, you get a product better than your genetically modified crop. Genetically modified crops are introduced in India just to fool the people. But we have the resources to have the much improved version of the result. So, that is where we need more and more youngsters doing the science. Can you close the door? And look at this, the brinjal. Again, the variety of brinjal. You go to South Kerala, you will get this brinjal with the fragrance. And you have the high yield, pest resistant, etc. The message here is, we have got such a resource. It's our job to improve that variety and give it to our children. Okay? Now, how do you analyze which part of the earth is very resourceful? That's where we take the help of the satellites. You have your photographs of last year and today, or 5 years back and today. What is the use of that photograph? If I give you a photograph, each one of you, your own photograph I will give. 5 years back and today. What will you do? You are all data student. What kind of assessment analysis you will do? Change detection. Okay. Now, this data is available from 1970 onwards. Every 21 or 30 days interval, we get a picture of the earth. 1970. Most of you are not even born, except people in the front row. Of course, there is one youngster sitting here. So she is also the latest entrant. Okay. So now that data, last 50 years data you have as a data student, what is the kind of big data we have? And when you look at the remote sensing data, when you get it in digital format, see, when you analyze the photograph in the camera, the digital format, you will see, depending on the reflection of the energy, you have the digital number. Okay, this is called spectral signature or digital number. We analyze that data and we find out the pattern, spatial and temporal pattern. That is the assessment we do it. When you do that spatial pattern assessment, you will find out how many pixels are under forest, agriculture, horticulture, etc. Okay, so now we understood how we get the data. Now, see, this is the number what we have for along with the photograph. Now we have the data in various spectral ranges, blue, green, red bands, etc. So that means lot of data is available for the same period of time. You can do the analysis. Okay. Now these are the satellites. We have learned many satellites and keep revolving the earth. Okay, and it goes on gives a picture of the earth. Now we use artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithm to analyze the spatial pattern and temporal pattern. Okay. Now we also predict the thing. Because the time given to me was 1 hour earlier before I left IISC. After coming here, I was told 50 minutes. Then slowly, deeply whispered in my ear that you will get about 35 minutes. So it's not my mistake. It's because people didn't come to the this. I have to wait for the audience. Okay. So now coming back to this one, you can, since you have a long-term data, you have assessed the spatial and temporal pattern. You can, with that background, you can predict what is likely to happen. Suppose you have seen the population data of the particular region for the last 100 years. If somebody asks next 10 years, what is the increase in population, you will be able to do that. Okay? So Professor Sheshgiri Rao has landed from Pavgada from Karnataka. Okay, so now, see, we use those, then how I use this data to do my science. Let me take you to the Western Ghats. I have a big data, I have artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithm. With that, I will try to understand what changes happening in the Western Ghats. Okay, so you might ask, what is the use of this machine learning algorithms? Earlier, to analyze the district, we used to take about a year. Okay, but today, my students do the analysis of the entire Western Ghats, covering all the districts from Kerala to Gujarat within 6 months. Don't you see there is an improvement in the technique? So that means the work what we used to do, you are able to do it in much lesser time. But for that, you should allow your brain to work. You should not allow the brain not to work using the mobile in the classroom. Yesterday I noticed a couple of people, youngsters were using mobile, but good part of it, that youngster came back and told me, sir, I am not going to do the same mistake in my life. As a teacher, my job is to change the individual and give a better individual to the system. So I was quite happy in the morning that when he came and told me that he is not going to do it. That's the purpose of teaching. As a student, if you have learned the essence of teaching, you will become successful. Okay? Now, coming back to my subject, now I have analyzed the picture of the Earth, the Western Ghats. When you see that from 1985 to 2018, there is a gradual decrease in the green cover. Green shows the forest, yellow is an open space. Okay? You can see that the more and more degraded lands are there in the Western Ghats. Not only that, forests are getting fragmented. When earlier the entire road was a forest, now this become one forest patch, another forest patch, there is a fragmentation, some agricultural land comes. That leads to the more and more human-animal conflict. The people will reside in the region, animal will come talking to them, then immediately these fellows get agitated. That's where the crisis starts. Okay? Now, if this trend continues, next 10 or 20 years, what is the situation we have analyzed? We found that further degradation will happen. The more important thing is there are changes in climate. The temperature will increase, especially Kerala will witness 1.5 degrees Celsius increase in temperature. Earlier I said, just an increase of 1.5 or a 0.5 additional 2 degrees kind of thing, how many species we lose, what is the vector-borne diseases, etc. Okay? And rainfall pattern will change. Special pattern. Kerala gets highest rainfall, it will get lower rainfall. That means their crop, areca, coconut, and all those things that will disappear. Then, the third thing is, the quantum of rainfall. If you see the rainfall is spread across 4 months in Karnataka, 6 to 8 months in the Kerala. Now, instead of getting rain for 4 to 6 months, you will get in a few days the same amount of rainfall. That is called high intensity rainfall. When we have high intensity rainfall, you see that large amount of water falls in the land. There is no vegetation cover. All the land get washed away. That is where flooding and landslide will happen. We published this article in 2018. At that time, I had added a paragraph saying that Kerala and Karnataka become vulnerable. In 2019, the landslides happened in Wayanad and Kodagu, as we had predicted. Immediately people started asking us, you have predicted us, will it repeat again? We said it is going to continue as long as you are irresponsible of cutting the forest, etc. Wayanad has become another hotspot with the recent, the entire community washed away. Wayanad is an ecologically sensitive region, undulating terrain, which should have protected with a vegetation cover. What we did, that mafias in Kerala, the tea mafia, they hired the people who are experts in cutting trees. Earlier, about 60, 70, 80 years back, before all of us are born. They are experts in cutting trees. And they were paid based on how much area they clear for tea plantation. You know, after cutting the trees, that community resided in Wayanad itself. And recently when landslide happened, all of them were washed away. You know, communities were washed away in the Wayanad. And today, if you look at the tragedy, because of the mafias, we lost those two communities. You know, about 150 or 200 families were washed away in this one. Okay? So now the message here is, you abuse Mother Nature today, your children will pay the price. Okay? So now let us try to understand what is the worth of the forest. You know, we did the assessment to find out if from the forest if we are getting fuel, timber, etc. Let us find out how much we get, how many truckloads of timber we get, how much fuel do we get, all those things. We found out what is the benefit out of it. See, when you extract a timber, let us say 1 cubic meter, you supply to the market, you might get about 1 lakh rupees. Then you would have spent some 20,000 or 30,000 for extracting the cutting and transporting, etc. You deduct that. That difference is the profit. You know, that is the revenue. Now, for all the items, you compute the revenue. Then you tell what is the final this one. Our study, you know, we did that tangible benefit what we get amounts to about 2 lakh rupees per hectare per year. And if you take the other services like the oxygen production, from where do we get oxygen? Huh? From where do we get? You can answer, don't worry, okay? Somebody answered, no? Who is that? Trees, okay. Who uses oxygen? But one fellow in Vidhansa told me we don't require trees. What should I do with him? Huh? And he was having 2 mobiles in his, one in left hand and one in right hand. Because of that, his brain was not working. So now that, how much oxygen the tree will produce? Okay, I'll ask a simpler question. You are all breathing now. Whether you are breathing or you have stopped. Huh? Are you sure? Okay, now the next question comes. When you breathe, how much oxygen you are taking in? Or how much carbon dioxide you are giving out? ಅಷ್ಟು ದೊಡ್ಡದಾಗಿ ಕೂಡ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಡೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಬಾಯಿ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಹೇಳೋ you know ಹೇಳಿ ಇವಾಗ ಆನ್ಸರ್. How much carbon dioxide you gave out just now when you opened your mouth? See, on an average, an individual gives out carbon dioxide per day 540 to 980 grams. You know, younger people 980 grams per person per day, while the senior people, okay, 540 grams per person per day. Now, how much the carbon dioxide is taken out by the trees? You know, per year it is about 6 to 9 tons. You know, by that ratio, for every human being, there should have been 7 to 8 trees. Okay, but what we have is something different. Okay, now we have given the monetary value to all those things. You know, when we assign those monetary value, you will come to know the worth of the forest. You know, how do you find out the worth of the individual? You know, you would have seen your parents asking somebody how much he earns. Okay, from that you will say that person is a big man. For example, now our Cheshkiri Rao has landed here. He is a billionaire. He is from Pavagada, but he is a billionaire. PhD at IISC. So now his status has gone up. If someone asks how much money I have, I will say few thousand in my bank account. Then immediately you will say that you are a useless man. You know, that's how people brand us, okay? So now coming back to this one, worth of the ecosystem we have by assigning the value to that, okay? Now, one of the surveys we quantified is the carbon. How much carbon the trees will take? You know, how do you assess carbon? You will find out the biomass of a tree. 50% of the biomass is a carbon. Now, how do you calculate biomass? You cut a tree and weigh it. You will get a biomass. But that is a destructive sampling. Then we have an indirect way of doing it. We check the girth of a tree and the height of a tree. See, for example, seeing your height and girth, people say, what is your weight? Okay? Then doctor will advise you, you bring down the weight. Even before he checks on the weighing balance, he will advise you to do that. Okay? Now, we have used a similar technique to find out what is the biomass in these the trees of Western Ghats. You know, and how much carbon it stores. Our estimate shows it's about 1.23 million gigagram. We do not know how old these forests are, but it has stored 1.23 million gigagram. And every year, you know, every day it keeps taking the carbon. So that means every year there is 37,000 gigagram of carbon it takes. Okay? And let us give the money value to that. You know, per ton of the carbon, the social cost is about $80. If you assign that, it amounts to 100 billion rupees or $1.4 billion. You might ask, sir, what is the use of this number? You know, when I go abroad, representing a country, I tell other fellows who are in that committee, you know, that the carbon that is stored in our forest is the carbon emitted by you, because our country was not industrialized earlier and you people have emitted. You have to pay that much to India. You know, that's how we get the money for our conservation. You see that when you do this kind of analysis, how it helps the country. Okay? Then, next is I will establish a link between the forest and the water. How many of you want water? Next question. You don't want water? You don't want. Everybody thinks. It's between price and time. So I was thinking that whether you are. How many want water in plastic bottle? You can raise your hand. In plastic bottle. Okay, I will tell you later. Now, see, this is when I was quite young, when I was running around now with my friend Sheshgiri Rao, I used to see a lot of water in the region. But today, Sheshgiri Rao is not with me, he is in Pavgada. I don't have water in that same region in Western Ghats. You know what could be the reason? See, when vegetation was there, we have water. When vegetation is not there, we don't have water. Do you agree with that? Now, let us establish this relationship through our data. I will take you to the one river basin. Let us go to the river basin. You know, what is the change they have done in the river basin? They constructed a dam. You know, when they constructed a dam, this is a reservoir area. When you construct a dam, what will happen? You will submerge the villages like that. You know, 179 villages were submerged. You know, those farmers were taken forcefully and they were put in dryer belt. You know, they couldn't practice the wet cultivation. What they did, they waited till this reservoir work is completed. They just came to this part of the river, they converted forest into agriculture land. Now, you look at one part, you see green, other part you see agriculture and barren area. Now, whether it has affected the rainfall, let us look at, okay? You know, when we have about 125 years rainfall data in our country on a daily basis. We are so lucky, and you can download that also. That is the beauty of that, okay? Now, when you download that data, you divide that into two time period, 1901 to 1964, 1965 to today. Why 1964? We commissioned the dam in 1965. Let us keep that as the result. When you analyze that, you will be surprised to see this entire region was receiving the rainfall of 3,000 to 4,500 millimeter during 1901 to 1964. But from 1964 to today, you see one part gets the rainfall of 3,000 to 4,500, other part started getting rainfall of 1,700 to 1,900. When you link that with the vegetation cover, You see, wherever trees are there, still rainfall is 3,000 to 4,500. Wherever we have degraded the forest like this, you see that rainfall has come down. Do you agree with that? Kaadidre nadu, kaadidre neeru. That is the thing. Do you agree with that? So now we also did another experiment. What did we do? We put sensors to find out how much water get infiltrated. See, when it rains, no, part of the water get infiltrated. You know, it gets filled in the groundwater zone, etc. We wanted to see how much rainfall get infiltrated. You know, we put a sensors like this in the underlying zones, you know, Vado zone, saturated zone, etc. You know, when you dig a well, no, you get a white soil. Have you seen? That is the groundwater zone, saturated zone. So when you put a sensors like that, we selected the watershed. You know, one watershed covered with a native species forest, another one is the monoculture plantation, third one is the building. Like that, 32 watersheds we chose in the Western Ghats. Okay. Then our job is every month our sensor will give the data. How much, when it rains, how much water get infiltrated. Our study shows when the native species forests are there, you know, the rainwater enters the soil and reaches the saturated zone. Okay, and then it fills this Vado zone. And then only you see the water flowing in the stream or a lake, etc. Now, if the buildings are there, you know, all the water will run away. Nothing goes inside. Okay. Now, why the water percolation happens? If you look at, you know, these forests are diverse. Since it is a diverse species of vegetation, roots are also diverse. When roots are diverse, you know, microorganisms in the soil are diverse. When the microorganisms in the soil are diverse and abundant, that makes the soil porous or permeable. When the soil becomes porous or permeable, it allows the water to percolate. You know, then, you know, water percolate, it fills this zone, and then it fills this zone. Then only you will see water flowing in the stream. Now you see that after monsoon, you know, the next 4 months we notice that water that is stored here started coming to the lake or river or the stream. Then during summer, the water that is stored here came to the lake or river or the stream for the next 4 months. That's how we have 12 months of water in the Western Ghats wherever native species forests are there. Wherever monoculture plantation is there, you know, only 6 to 8 months of water is available. Wherever people have converted the forest into the degraded landscape, we have water only during the monsoon. You know, the water will come and it will rush towards the ocean. So now this also shows wherever forests are there, about 65 to 70% of the rainfall get infiltrated. And wherever monoculture plantation is there, or wherever degraded landscape is there, about 30% or 32% of rainfall get infiltrated. That's how it decides the people's, the water and people's livelihood. You know, now I will summarize what I said so far. Okay, this is the region where 12 months water is available. This is the region 8 months is there, green. And this is the 6 months and this is 4 months. Now just overlay the vegetation cover on this. You see wherever native species forests are there, we have 12 months water. Wherever forests are fragmented, depending on the scale of fragmentation, we have 8 to 6 months of water. Wherever forests are degraded, with the forest are less than 30%, we have only 4 months water. Okay? Now some of you are from rural family. You know how it decides your parents the livelihood or your livelihood. You know the farmers in this region, because water is available throughout the year, they grow multiple crop or a cash crop. And their earning is 1,54,000 rupees per acre per year. Whereas here, you know, since the water is available for 4 to 8 months, they grow only one crop. Their earning is 32,000 rupees per acre per year. Now 32,000 is better or 1,54,000 is better? 1,54,000. Now let us look at the yield of the crop. You know, we found people growing paddy in this region versus the people growing paddy in this region. If the yield is 14 to 18 quintal per acre, in this region it is 6 to 8 quintal per acre. Now we looked at what is the reason. We just mapped the pollinators. You know, pollinators are abundant and diverse in this region. Because of that, pollination become efficient. When pollination is efficient, yield of the crop is high. When pollination is not happening because of insufficient pollinator, you have lower yield. Now the government of India talks about doubling the income of the farmer. Prime Minister keeps saying that I will double the income of the farmer. My only advice to the Prime Minister is just maintain the ecosystem integrity. Ecosystem will give water and pollinator. We will have the higher yield of the thing. He did not give us 10,000 also. We will be happy without 10,000 as long as he protects our forests. Okay? Now, we also looked at what is the demand of water in the region. We will say for the growing the horticulture crop, agriculture, etc. You see that in this region, the green bar is the water availability, red, this one yellow is the demand. In this region, wherever forests are there, demand for water is higher, but there is sufficient water. Whereas in this region, where people have looted the forest for timber, etc., you see that there is a demand for water, but there is no sufficient water. Now you see what kind of development agenda we should have in the country. Should we cut the forest in the name for the development, or should we have the forest for the development? This is the decision. As a youngster, you need to have it. Okay. So now let's look at the biodiversity. As I said earlier, biodiversity referred to diversity of plants, animals, etc. Okay. Now, which part of that region has more biodiversity? When we did that mapping, the dots indicate various mammals, sloth, bear, tiger, etc. All of them are there where water is available for 12 months. Then in this region where water is available for only 4 to 6 months, which animal was there? Only two-legged animal was there, fighting for water. So now you see that 2 versus 4 leg, what kind of the relationship. We also describe 2 new species of fish. Chishtura, Nagodi, and Sharabi. In the street, Nagodi is Nagodi and Sharabi. The importance of this fish, it has a medicinal property. When we came to know it has a medicinal property, we thought let us culture in our lab in Bangalore, we cultured it. Then when we looked at the medicinal property, none of them had medicine like Bangalore is. That means if the fish with the medicine you want, you have to grow in its habitat. For the fish to grow in that habitat in the stream, it has to have water. For the stream to have water for 12 months, it has to have the forest with a diverse species of this one. Okay? Now you understood how we get medicine and the water. Okay? Now I will take up another example. Frogs. Frogs are known as amphibians. Why do we call frogs as amphibians? I was in the morning in the swimming pool and now I am here. Can you call me as amphibian? Land and water. I am also land and water. I was sleeping in the water for almost 1 hour. Huh? Okay. Now that is where learning science, learning the subject properly is more important. Then only you will understand this one. Frog had 2 stages of life cycle. Like all of you. First stage is a tadpole stage. Like a fish like this one, which will be in water. Now the next stage is adult stage, which is on the land. Now, if there is no water, no tadpole will survive. That means frog will not survive. But in a drier area, in Western Ghat, we saw the frogs, they reproduced. We were surprised. We went to that stream. We saw that frog had learned how to bypass the tadpole stage. After fertilization of the egg, on 14th day, we saw the younger ones coming out. We were so happy, but at the same time, we were worried. We got the fertilized egg to Bangalore. Then, in our lab, we saw on the 14th day, younger ones are coming out of this one without a tadpole stage. That means, when the water not available, the frogs have learned how to continue the progeny. Okay? This is called adaptation. Our title of the conference, what it says? Mitigation, adaptation. Now I have explained how to adapt and mitigation earlier I have said. So now adaptation you have understood. I will write it and give. Okay? If we are going to be same irresponsible fellow now as we are now, will not have water on the earth. When there is no water on the earth, neither you can survive nor I can survive. That means no humans can survive. Only these organisms will survive because they learned how to continue the progeny. Okay? Now, we thought that okay, we should tell the people who are in the government, our all fellows are like you fellows, holding mobile in the hand, talking about governance and all. So we thought let us give a decision support system. Identify which part of the Western Ghat is ecologically sensitive. For that we divided entire Western Ghat into 5 minutes by 5 minutes grid or 9 kilometer by 9 kilometer. Okay, in each grid we found out what kind of forest is there, what is the forest cover, what kind of animals are there, what kind of plants are there, how much rainfall it gets, all those things. They compiled the data. Now you look at the relevance of your subject. Data we started analyzing, integrating the data. Then whichever grid got highest number, we gave them an ecologically sensitive region. Now how I did that, we will show you. See, this is a forest cover in the Western Ghat at a grid level. Now corresponding weight what we have assigned, if the forest cover is more than 60, weight assigned is 10. Okay? Now similarly with the intact forest, wherever intact forest is there with cover greater than 60, we assign the weight of 10. Like that we normalize the values. Similarly, carbon, and flora and fauna, where all animal is their endemic species, we have given higher weight. Now you have multi-layer data. You just combine all of them. Because already you have normalized the data, you combine them. Whichever grid get highest, you do the frequency distribution. Divide that into 4 groups. That's what we did. Then we assign the color, the ESR1 with the highest number, is red. Then ESR2, this is ESR3, blue is ESR4. Now, you can visualize which part of the Western Ghat is ecologically sensitive, sitting at your home. Now, we developed the decision support system. Bharat Settu, who was here, was quite active in this thing. All the analysis was done by Bharat. We learned the spatial decision support system. Now, if you click on that, you can go to Western Ghat. You can visualize, okay, what is this one, So, Chanakya net connectivity is lower. Okay, so I'm waiting for the response. Okay, now I got it. So you see that. Now if you want to see, for example, let me choose this state. Okay, Kerala. Okay, you see that what is the eco-sensitiveness. You will get that map that will be opened in that this one. First I will show you the entire Western Ghats. So since the net connectivity is poor, it's not responding, so taking time. Okay, you can just note down and you can look at this thing, the data. I'll just get back to my thing. Okay, if it by the time as visualized, then I'll show you. So essentially you will see like this. Then if you want a particular village, you can also. And when you click on that polygon, it will give the why it is ecologically sensitive. And also all the data what we use for this analysis, we have put it online. We didn't talk about secrecy, confidentiality, all those things. We thought that if science has to progress in this country, everyone should share the data. Okay, that is our agenda, and we showed the model. I launched the website in July. When I was invited to deliver a talk of K.V. Subbanna Memorial Lecture. I did it in a remote village in Shivamogga. But believe it or not, in 10 days there was a question in the parliament. That means the voice of the village reaches the destination because of the technology today. And not only that, the Minister of Environment and Forest sent a group of scientists, experts to my lab asking for the details. And when I talked to them about this, they said that, okay, this carbon sequestration is a very important point. We will tell the government of Karnataka, the likely benefit government of Karnataka state will get because of the carbon, the credit. When they told the minister said, I will accept Kasturi Rangan committee report. See, that's how we have to convince, not by agitation, through the silent weapon. The silent weapon, what we have is pen in our hand and brain in our body. So that's what makes us to think, okay? But if you become a slave using mobile in the classroom, your brain, you are not given an opportunity to think. You know, yesterday I was so disappointed to see some of you are using the mobile continuously when I was sitting in the thing. That's where last session I handled each one of you to understand why you should not be the slaves of the technology. Okay? Now, you know, identifying this ecologically sensitive region, people knew that wherever forests are there, water is available, they protect that patch of forest, they called it as TVRAMACHANDra or a sacred rose or the Khan or Tau, etc. Lord Shiva, his head is always covered with hair. When that hair is covered on the head, he retains the water, Ganga, and we get the water. Suppose Shiva become bald, what will happen? You cannot retain the water. Okay, now I will summarize what I said so far. You know, Mother Earth. Sorry, Karikavanamma, the temple. This is Karikavanamma. This is in Honavar. We have a sacred forest. It is on the hillock, good forest cover, etc. Okay. Now coming back to the thing, when Mother Earth is covered with a green sari of native species, she retains the water and gives the water for 12 months. When you convert the sari into the synthetic sari of rubber or acacia eucalyptus, she retains the water for 6 months or 8 months, you get a water for 6 to 8 months. That means for 4 to 6 months you don't get water. When you degrade the catchment with a forest less than 30%, then you don't have water for the 8 months in a year. So if you want water and if you want 1,54,000 rupees per acre per year, then you need to have the forest cover in the design. That way our Sheshiri Rao has done a wonderful job in Bhavgada. Of course, he has a 200 acres of land which he has inherited from his elders because he is lucky. But more important is managing. See, inheriting is one part of the story. But after that, management becomes crucial. He has taken up the thing to revitalize the lakes in his system through the community involvement, etc. And also, not only that, he has put sensors to find out the moisture, to find out the temperature, etc. And we have a good conversation. I call him as a Kadakai Vignani, peanut research. That's mainly because his research is on if rainfall is delayed by a few days, what kind of pest attack happens. And he also brings in traditional knowledge, with nakshatra, what kind of the thing, why we should get that rain, so that you have the prosperity at home and all those things. Anyway, he is going to talk about it. I've just given a glimpse of his thing because I know a little bit about him, but the other part he is going to talk about. Okay? Now, let us learn the concept of sustainability. I learned sustainability from this lady. A very elderly lady, maybe the fag end of the 60s. They go under the water and they spend 5 minutes and collect a bucket full of biomass. I thought that I am also energetic. I went and tried to do that job. After 1 minute, my body said it requires oxygen. So whereas that lady, 5 minutes she was doing, and I was curious. I asked her. She said, I won't collect the second bucket. I asked her, why you do not collect the second bucket? She said, when I sell this bucket full of biomass is a marine organism with a shell. She said, I will get 350 rupees. That 350 rupees is sufficient for me to run my family for today. If I want the resource for tomorrow, I will come and collect it tomorrow. That is sustainability. Which means do not overharvest, do not overexploit. What you want today, you use it. But don't overuse it. And avoid using plastic as much as possible. Don't bring unnecessary pollution in the system. Okay? So that's what the message. Now, how I take this to the science? I learn from Mother Nature. See, whenever I get tensed, I don't use mobile like some of you. I just go to the trees, talk to them. You know, I get all the scientific principles. You look at this. This is a simple food chain. Energy and material transfer happens. You know, everybody is getting food. You know, plants produce food, which is eaten by herbivore, next eaten by the carnivore. Then whatever is left in the system get converted into elemental form by bacteria and fungi. When you look at this nature, there is nothing called waste. Where do you see waste? Where do you see waste? I am asking a question. Huh? You will see waste where? Urban India. What is this urban India? You are part of urban India or rural India? Huh? No, your attempt is good. I am quite happy the way you respond to the thing, both of you. But I want better answer also. You know, you will see waste where waste people are there. Who are these waste fellows? Bunch of fellows, you know, dependent on plastic for everything. To drink water, they need plastic. Huh? To get idli and sambar to their children, they will go to a hotel and get it packed in that. You know, as a scientist, I analyze those water and the food item that is got in the polythene bag. All of them have a dioxin. Dioxin is a carcinogen. That means when you consume the water continuously for 1,000 times, my guess is you should also book a ticket in the Kidwai Institute of Oncology. Because already Bangalore is number 1 as far as cancer is concerned. And then if you book a slot today, probably you will get at the time. If you continue this habit of mismanaging with the plastic etc., then people require more and more Kidwai Institute of Oncology in Bangalore and other part of the earth. Okay? Now, with that I will bring you to the Bangalore. You know, the Bangalore landscape is undulating. Earlier rivers were passing. We just put a bunch and that's how we have the lakes. Now, we did the study to find out how many lakes were there when Kempegowda was there and today. You all know Kempegowda? Who is that fellow? Huh? Nadaguru, correct. Now, about him I want what more details you can give. Because I was not there when he was there. Today, when was that? Okay, you see, during Kempegowda period in Bangalore, we had 1,452 water bodies and 80% green cover because of the temperature in Bangalore during summer month was 14 to 16 degrees Celsius. Today, what is the temperature? 36, 38 degrees, already 31 degrees yesterday. Okay, not even February is over, already we have the temperature. Okay, that means we have swallowed the lakes. Okay, and today we have 193 lakes, not 1452. Okay, and if the lake is there, what is the use? Let us see. When the lakes were there, people were having water at 100 feet. When people removed the lake in the name of development, the water table went down to 500 to 600 feet in 5 years. And today, after 23 years, people have gone deeper, 1,800 feet, there is no water. That's why, you know, people in one day, they have launched their satellites to find out water in moon, rockets in moon, you know. That's what we are doing. We lose the resources here, then we search for it in other planets, okay? That we do not know anyway. Okay? Then you might ask, if the lake is rejuvenated, will I get back the water? Say, when we rejuvenated Sarki Lake, I was a part of that. Within a year, the groundwater table went up by 300 feet. And you know, last summer, when the entire city didn't have water, and there was a heat wave in the city, at Sarki Lake, we had water, enough water in the lake, and surrounding groundwater table was less than 500 feet. Because of the high moisture content, temperature in Saraki Lake was 2 degrees lower. And that is the most successful model because of the community participation. Where our community takes part, you see that they were successful in getting the encroachment removed and lake rejuvenation. They pushed the government to rejuvenate the lake. And today we have a clean lake in Saraki. Okay? Now, if the lake is not polluted, what is the kind of goods you get? People get fish, water, etc. How much? It is 10,500 rupees per day per hectare. While when you pollute the lake, it comes down to about the 20 rupees per day per hectare. Deepti, should I stop here? I know you are getting restless, but you started at 10:35. So. It should be 1 hour slot. Okay. 10:50. Okay, you are more generous than me. 10:15, there was not much activity in the room. Okay. Now, what are the threats to the lakes? Let us see. This is the Rakshasa of Bangalore. Which had 7% red building. 68% green cover was in 73 when none of you were there. And today, you see 86% is only building. See, Chanakya University was not there, no other, everything was green. Okay? Now I'll just animate this. See, 1992, you see changes happening with industrialization. 2000, ITBT sector came up in the outskirts. Then 2006, intensification, 2009, further intensification. And today, look at the situation of Bangalore. We do not have oxygen, nor water. There has been an increase in built-up area by 1,078%. 88% green cover we lost, and 79% of the water bodies we have lost. I've been telling the government, enough is enough. Let us decongest Bangalore. But every fellow looks at my statement in mobile, and after 1 minute he will sleep off. When he sleeps off, he forgets. This mobile mad fellows is really creating a havoc in the system. Okay? Don't feel bad if you are a thing, but today onwards you try to be more decent without using mobile too much. Okay? See, even today I do not use mobile. But people know how to contact me. Okay? My mother also calls me at 8 o'clock. But she calls my landline. Okay? Then, now, see how the urbanizations happened. See, what was 8%, today is 86%. Too much is too bad, okay? So, now, let us look at how many trees are there in Bangalore. After that, I will skip to the last part. This is my campus, IISC campus. We did a mapping of trees. We found 22,000 trees are there. We linked with the remote sensing data. That's how the ground measurement is linked to the remote sensing data. Then that exercise we did it in a couple of parts. Then that field data collection. Then we linked that to the entire data of Bangalore. We could classify how many trees are there in Bangalore. Our estimate shows there is 1.5 million trees are there in Bangalore, and population, stable population is 9.5 million. That means for every 7%, there is one tree. Now, I said, how many trees are required per person to get oxygen? 7 to 8. We have a reverse situation. You might think this is a new information. There is nothing new in what I am speaking. When you look at Bible, it talks about importance of trees at least 320 times. If you look at Quran, it talks about imminent war. It says, if you pollute water, tomorrow you have war. That's where in Dargah, invariably in a good Dargah, you will see a well. You have to go pull the water out of the well and then wash your feet and fingers. Then only you can go to the Dargah. They thought that when you practice in Dargah, you will also practice at your home and in your community. Now, in the literature which I follow, for example, Matsya Purana talks about the importance of water body, the children and the trees. If you have a well at home, you are wealthy. It is in Sanskrit, I will tell in English, okay? 10 wells are equal to 1 lake, 10 lakes are equal to 1 reservoir, 10 reservoir is equal to 1 child, and 10 children are equal to 1 tree. The benefit of having 10 children, you can get the same benefit by planting and nurturing a sapling. I put it other way. When people cut the tree, they are murdering their own 10 children. When I write like this, it becomes quite powerful. Sometimes people come and say, give me the solution, I have to remove the tree. Give the solution. We have given the solution, how to do it to the forest department, etc. That's how we convey. And this is the number of water bodies in Bangalore. What was 756 water bodies in 70s before your birth. Today we have about 216 water bodies. Okay. Now we also developed the decision support system to tell the government how Bangalore is changing. That is called Bangalore Urban Information System, and all the data we have put it online. Okay. Then we also looked at how the emission is happening in the city and other cities. We found that cities where the transport is weak, public transport, we have higher emission from the transportation sector as well as from this is in Hyderabad and in Bangalore. Okay, 46% in Bangalore. And another worrying thing is this kind of building. Go to Infosys campus. There is a building called Titanic building. They realized that it became very hot. They stopped using that building now. You would have seen some Infosys fellows coming here now with a glass cover on their body. Okay. So now what I did was, this glass facade building is supposed to be for a cold climate or temperate climate, so that it becomes warmer. In that cold climate you feel comfortable. Thermal comfort you will get. But in Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, Mumbai, these are all the tropical climate. We did a study to find out if you are in normal building, what is your electricity consumption. If you are in glass facade building, what is the electricity consumption. Our study shows in the normal building, electricity consumption is 700 to 1200 units per person per year. In this glass facade building, it is 14,000 to 17,000 units per person per year. That means 10 times higher electricity. 10 times higher electricity means 10 times higher emission. That's what yesterday Professor Rajmurthy was highlighting from these thermal power stations. That means Bangalore, with unplanned urbanization, we are contributing to the warming of the globe. Okay? Now, temperature in the Bangalore, what was 21, became 24 in 2000, then 28 in 2010, and today it's about 38. And this is this one, we moved from the center of the city in 8 directions. Wherever water bodies are there, wherever parks are there, this is the work done by the Professor Uttam Kumar when he was a PhD student, and his students are here. She has come after finishing her PhD. She has come here to attend this conference. Okay? Now, other consequences is the floods happens. I will not discuss that because some of you know about it. So I will skip this. Now, when you pollute the water body, will it affect us? How many of you think that if you pollute the water body, that pollution will come back to us? Do you agree with that? Okay. People use that water. When we pollute the water body, that water is used by the rural area people to grow the vegetable. And also the milk. That the green plant in the lake, they take it for as the mewu for the artu. Okay. Now we collected the fish sample and vegetable sample and milk sample. When we analyzed, all of them had heavy metal. Heavy metal in our food means cancer, kidney failure. Kidney failure in Bangalore city, what was 1 in 1 lakh about 12 years back, today is 1 in 5,000. Earlier for 1 lakh fellows, 1 person had lost kidney. Today for every 5,000 you will find. That's where almost every ward in Bangalore has a dialysis unit. Okay, that means whatever the food we are taking, it is contaminated. Whether you get it from Kolar or Tumkur, people inject pollutant and give because they think that Bangaloreans require color. Watermelon, they inject the red the dye and give it. And these mad fellows will look for the color only without thinking about the health. Okay? Now, when we rejuvenate the lake, for example, Velandur Vartur Lake, about our estimate shows 11 million cubic meter of the silt is there. With the lake polluted, it is affecting the people, it has to be rejuvenated. To rejuvenate, desitting is one part. When that silt is removed, that is 11 million cubic meter. People said, oh, this man is going to create a traffic problem in Bangalore. The big article people wrote against me. Then what I did is I had a meeting with farmers because I was a member of the green bench of the NGT committee. So I had a meeting with the farmers what I did is I convinced the farmers in Vattur to take the silt. They said, since you are telling us, we will take the silt. We gave the silt to the 400 acres of the farmer. Every month I visit that region. When I visited these villages where I gave the silt, after 3 months, they showed a bumper crop. Each farmer tells they got 1.5 lakh rupees additional revenue because of the silt with the nutrient. Because the silt had nutrient, there was no need to use fertilizer. And because the silt had nutrient, they bumper crop they got it. That's what. In fact, myself, Bharat had gone to one of the visit. They loaded our vehicle with vegetables. They said, sir, because of you got it, you take this some part of it to your. They said, what will I do with a load of the vegetables? They said, you give it in IISC to your friends so that everyone, because of you people, we are benefiting. See, I have shown you how science can benefit the society. Okay? Now, all the lakes information, we have monitored, my students have monitored 193 lakes. Okay? And all the data. What kind of water quality, what kind of algae, what kind of fish is there, and what is the worth of the lake, how much money people can get, all those things, including who has encroached the lake, the data we have put in online. This is called Bangalore Lake Information System. Recently we published an article also on that in the Journal of Indian Social Science. Okay, now the last part is what else we have done. One is we have been giving the clean water to the people. The simple technology. We used the nature principle of wetland and constructed wetland and algal pond in a Jakkur Lake. Jakkur Lake, my study shows 2005, it was polluted, and surrounding there were 25 wells were there. All of them had nitrate. Nitrate gives the cancer. It's a cancerous. So then I pushed the government to rejuvenate the lake. I was a member of the committee. When it is rejuvenated, I made sure nature-based principle is implemented because the money they gave was not sufficient to have tertiary treatment plant. Last 10 years, my students have monitored this lake and surrounding Jakkur Lake. There are today 300 wells are there. None of them have nitrate because 85 to 90% removal of nutrient happen because of this constructed wetland and algal pond. The constructed wetland has the marshy plant which requires Sarajanaka. They remove this. When they take the Sarajanaka, you will have water without the N. Okay, that's what we did. And those of you who are interested can go into this kind of this report which is available online. Okay. Then, if you come to IISc campus, there is a lake we have created. This is used by my students as an experimental lab for biofuel. Not only students are happy, I also have water in this lake. At one end I am saying Bangalore is dying. At other end I am showing a heaven in Bangalore. Okay? Then whenever I meet people, if they are slightly influential and with lot of money, like our friend Cheshgiri Rao, I will make them to rejuvenate the lake or create the lake. This Mudbidre for 2 consecutive years, in 2014 and 15 there was no water. This Swamiji had learned that his problem is severe. Then he was waiting for somebody to solve his problem. He saw that I am moving around in Bangalore. He contacted me. I said, I am in St. Aloysius taking class. I can come in the late evening. He waited for me. I reached his place around 8 o'clock and he listened to me like all of you. Then he said, can you tell me how to solve the problem of Mudbidre water crisis? I said, rejuvenate the lake. 32 lakes are there rejuvenated. He said, how can I do it? I don't have money. I said, you do 1 or 2. Remaining, I will get it done, I said. As I predicted, he did 2 lakes, remaining 30 were rejuvenated by the local people in the same year. The last year, the entire Karnataka faced a severe water crisis, but Mudbidre had enough water because of this. That means this water bodies gives us the water, that is where we need to learn to manage. And in addition to that, we gave a proposal to create a water body in this campus. And June 5th, I told him, if you create a water body, you will have water on June 5th. First week I gave a report, within 15 days he created the water body. On June 6th, he shared this photograph to me. When I see the success is because of the youth. When youth are sensible, they become responsible. Youth become irresponsible when they use gadgets too much in the classroom. Okay? Now,
let us, why I am telling again and again, after listening to my talk, you all should become stalwarts. You should contribute something for my country. That's what I am looking for. My talk should not go waste. Okay? Now, when I saw the successes because of the youth, then I found that there is one fellow who has a lot of resources, like our Sheshgiri. I convinced him to create a water body in his campus, which stores 25 lakh liters of water. Okay? And also he does a planting of the thing. Next year when I visit that place, as a guest faculty, I see the greenery with abundant water smile on our face. And I will give you something very interesting. Most of you are in this, like all of you, most of you. This gentleman, when he met me, he was a lecturer. Okay? And he was trying to get married but not happening. He was not in Bangalore to go to the Facebook and marry faithless fellows and file the divorce paper next month. So, but believe it or not, in 6 months, he gets a partner, wonderful partner. Like our Sheshgiri has a partner. So, like that, okay? Wonderful partner who take care of the joint family. In Bangalore, joint family means they think that Papa, Mama and child is a joint family because they have to join at least. In our case, our grandparents, our parents, all those things constitute a joint. And that's what the kind of thing she takes there. Okay? Now, okay. If you come to the campus, you will see this climber. I was fascinated by a climber. I felt I should have it in the campus. I brought the seed to the campus. About 14 seeds were there in that part. Out of 14, 7 I planted in 7 locations. Other 7, I kept it in my lab. Out of 7, only 1 has survived. That is next to the building where we work, myself, Sheshgiri. I worked for the 20 years in that building. That means even the plants know who will take care. You can ask Sheshgiri Ram. He was so happy. And then, what he did? He thought that I am quite get frightened with the snakes. So, to threaten me, one snake stone he brought it, he kept it in front of my room. He told everybody that today I have taught a lesson to TVR. But he didn't know what I am going to do. I just came in the morning. Since I am the first one to come to the department, I just saw the stone. I knew from whom I had got it. I took it to my mini forest and kept it there and put some, all those arishna, kumma, all those things. I put it and kept it. For 2 days, went on searching for the stone. And then, but he didn't have courage to ask me because he knows that if he asks me, then he will be caught. And he didn't want to, but he was sent all the fellows to find out where the stone is. And after 2 days, somebody revealed that TVR has kept it in the mini forest. See, that is the mini forest in front of the my department. We have planted in 2 hectare area 49 native species. 100 saplings were planted when I was a student. And today, you come and see there. Earlier there was Parthenium. There is no Parthenium today. Groundwater which was 150 feet. Today, you get water at 10 feet. Now you know to get water what you should do. Okay? That is what is the thing. And more importantly, I have slender lorries. I don't require mobile for my recreation. I just peep through the window. This slender lorries comes and sit in front of my window. So that's how I get the recreation. Lot of snakes we have in this region. Okay? And this is what we communicate to the wider section, especially the children. We have been doing this for the last 2.5 decades. And also we offer a course on environmental management for the working professionals and the people in university. I have offered 22 sessions as of today. Okay. Another important thing is the lake symposium once in 2 years. Our scheme, the October session, Bharat will bring some student from Chanakya. But I was told Chanakya students are busy with their exam and all. So I hope the next event you will take part. This is once in 2 years. Once in 2 years, when we organize, some 1,000 people attend. Out of the 20% of the school and college students. That's how we do the capacity building. Children do the simple experiment like carbon sequestration, lake monitoring. They come and do that. Okay? And if you need more details, Just do Google search, YouTube TVRAMACHANDRA, you will get my talk in various versions. Now somebody has done a video about me also. Just today morning that was released. They shared with me. You can also see there is a Ganapati TV channel is the YouTube. You can go to that. Okay. And all our publications we have put it online. Okay. And if you need further detail, this is the website where you can get. And I do not use mobile. The best way to reach me is through email. Okay. So you can write to the mail, and I will respond to that. Okay. Well, my agenda is to sow the seeds of knowledge in this age way and give them to the nation. And we have been successful in doing it, okay, for the last 2.5 decades. And this is one of the interviews that recently came out, okay. So, and you can see when they do a good job, youngsters do a good job, Bharat, they are all my students. So we have made some mark in the system. We have left the thing. People have understood what we have done. That is our contribution to the system. Now they are all doing a wonderful job. So you should learn from them. They are all fortunately faculty in this institution. Take advantage of my knowledge. Through them, you all will learn better. Thank you very much.